What if being alone is not the emptiest chapter of your life, but the beginning of your most beautiful one? The moment you stop waiting for calls, chasing people, and depending on someone else to make your days meaningful, everything changes. Silence becomes peace, solitude becomes freedom, and your own company becomes a place you no longer want to escape. This audiobook will show you how to stop fearing loneliness, enjoy life without constant attention, and build a happiness nobody's absence can destroy. Your life is not waiting for someone to arrive. It is waiting for you to begin. Chapter 1. Stop begging people to stay. Start enjoying your own life. The moment you beg someone to stay, you quietly hand them control over your peace. You begin changing yourself, lowering your standards, ignoring disrespect, and accepting less than you deserve because you are terrified of being left alone. But anyone who truly values you will never require you to lose your dignity just to keep them in your life. People may leave, change, become distant, or choose a different path, and although that can hurt deeply, their departure does not mean your life has ended. It simply means you must stop building your happiness around people who can walk away at any time. Start returning your attention to yourself. Wake up with a purpose that does not depend on a message. Create routines that make your days meaningful. Read, learn, exercise, explore new places, and enjoy simple moments without waiting for someone to join you. When you build a life you genuinely enjoy, you stop chasing people who are comfortable losing you. You no longer beg for attention, loyalty, or effort because you understand that your time is valuable too. Let people leave if they choose to leave. Your responsibility is not to convince them to stay. Your responsibility is to create a life so peaceful, interesting, and fulfilling that their absence no longer feels like the end of your world. Chapter 2. Your loneliness ends the moment you stop running from yourself. Loneliness becomes painful when you believe your own company is something to escape. You fill every quiet moment with noise, scrolling, meaningless conversations, or people who do not truly understand you because being alone forces you to face thoughts you have been avoiding. But running from yourself only makes the emptiness stronger. The healing begins when you stop treating silence like an enemy and start using it as a place to understand who you are. Sit with your emotions without immediately searching for distraction. Ask yourself why certain memories still hurt, why you keep needing approval, and why someone's absence can control your entire mood. At first, the answers may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is often the doorway to freedom. As you learn to enjoy your own thoughts, care for your own needs, and create peace without depending on another person, solitude no longer feels like rejection. It becomes a private space where you can breathe, rebuild, and become stronger. You stop searching for people to rescue you from your feelings because you finally know how to hold yourself through difficult moments. Loneliness does not disappear when more people enter your life. It disappears when you stop abandoning yourself whenever everyone else is gone. Chapter 3. Break your fear of silence and empty spaces. Silence feels frightening only when you have trained yourself to believe that every empty moment must be filled. The moment the room becomes quiet, your mind begins searching for a message, a voice, a video, or anyone who can distract you from what you feel inside. But silence is not attacking you. It is revealing everything noise has helped you avoid. It shows you the pain you never processed, the dreams you abandoned, and the parts of yourself you stopped listening to while trying to keep everyone else close. Instead of running, remain still long enough to hear what your mind is trying to tell you. Let the empty room become a place where you can breathe without performing, think without interruption, and exist without seeking approval. Begin with a few peaceful minutes each day. Put your phone away, sit near a window, take a slow walk, or drink something warm without needing entertainment. At first, the quiet may feel uncomfortable, but soon it will become a source of strength. You will discover that an empty space is not proof that your life is empty. It is space waiting to be filled with your ideas, healing, creativity, and purpose. Once silence becomes your friend, you stop fearing moments when nobody is around, because you finally know that your own presence can make any place feel complete. Chapter 4. Learn to be happy even when nobody calls, texts, or visits. There will be days when your phone stays silent, nobody checks on you, no invitation arrives, and the people you expected to remember you seem busy with their own lives. In those moments, it is easy to believe that you are unimportant, forgotten, or somehow less valuable because nobody is giving you attention. You may look at your screen repeatedly, hoping to see a name appear. You may wonder why others seem surrounded by people while you are sitting alone. But a quiet phone is not proof of an empty life, and someone's failure to contact you is not a measurement of your worth. It simply means that this moment belongs entirely to you, and what you do with it will determine whether solitude becomes suffering or freedom. The real problem is not that nobody called. The real problem begins when your happiness has been trained to wait for someone else's attention. You feel alive when people remember you, and invisible when they do not. Your mood depends on messages, replies, visits, compliments, and invitations. Without realizing it, you allow other people to decide whether your day feels meaningful. If they respond warmly, you feel wanted. If they reply late, you feel rejected. If they disappear, your confidence collapses. This creates an exhausting life because you are constantly waiting for signals that prove you matter. But you were valuable before the message arrived, and you remain valuable after the conversation ends. You must learn to stop watching the door and start living inside the room. Instead of waiting for somebody to visit, make your environment feel peaceful for yourself. Open the curtains, clean your space, play music you love, prepare a meal carefully, and sit down as though your own company deserves effort. Do not save your best clothes, favorite food, beautiful places, or peaceful routines only for days when someone else is present. Your life is not a waiting area. You do not need an audience before an ordinary day can become beautiful. When nobody calls, call your attention back to your own life. Ask yourself what you have been neglecting while chasing connection. Perhaps there is a book you wanted to finish, a skill you wanted to learn, a room you wanted to improve, a body you wanted to strengthen, or a dream you kept postponing because you were too distracted by people. Quiet days offer something crowded days cannot give you: uninterrupted time. That time can either be wasted wondering why nobody remembers you, or it can be used to become someone you are proud to be. At first, creating happiness alone may feel unnatural. You may start an activity and immediately think, this would be better with someone. But stay with the experience. Make tea and enjoy its warmth without reaching for your phone. Watch the sunset without needing to send it to anyone. Take yourself to a quiet cafe and allow yourself to sit comfortably instead of pretending to be busy. Go for a walk without waiting for company. Cook a meal and arrange it beautifully, even if you are the only person eating. These small actions teach your mind an important truth. Pleasure does not become real only when it is shared. You should also understand that people being unavailable does not always mean they do not care. Everyone is carrying responsibilities, worries, relationships, and private struggles you may know nothing about. When you expect constant attention, you turn normal distance into personal rejection. You begin creating painful stories in your mind. They forgot me. I am not important. Nobody wants me. Most of the time, these stories hurt more than the silence itself. Learn to separate facts from fear. The fact may be that nobody contacted you today. The fear says nobody will ever care about you. Those are not the same thing. Do not punish yourself by scrolling through other people's lives and comparing their visible moments to your private silence. Social media will show you gatherings, celebrations, friendships, couples, and smiling faces, but it will not show you the arguments, loneliness, insecurity, or emptiness hidden behind many of those pictures. A crowded photograph does not always represent a peaceful life. Some people are surrounded by others and still feel completely unseen. Your goal should not be to look connected. Your goal should be to feel whole. Use quiet periods to build emotional independence. Emotional independence does not mean becoming cold, rejecting love, or pretending that relationships do not matter. It means enjoying connection without becoming helpless without it. You can appreciate a call without needing it to save your mood. You can love a visit without feeling abandoned when the person leaves. You can enjoy friendship without demanding constant proof that the friendship still exists. This kind of strength allows you to love people freely because you are no longer holding them responsible for keeping you happy every hour of the day. Create a personal list of things that restore your energy without requiring anyone else. It might include walking in nature, exercising, journaling, organizing your home, listening to an audiobook, learning a language, visiting a peaceful place, gardening, cooking, drawing, praying, meditating, or simply resting without guilt. These are not meaningless activities used to pass time. They are ways of building a relationship with your own life. The more you discover what brings you calm, curiosity, and joy, the less frightening a silent day becomes. You must also stop contacting people from a place of panic. There is nothing wrong with reaching out, but there is a difference between genuine connection and desperate reassurance. When you send messages only because silence makes you feel worthless, you are asking another person to remove a feeling you have not learned to manage. If they do not reply quickly, your anxiety becomes worse. Before reaching out, pause and ask yourself, do I truly want to connect, or am I trying to escape myself? That single question can protect you from chasing people who repeatedly give you little effort. Some days will still feel heavy. Learning to enjoy your own company does not mean you will never experience loneliness again. It means loneliness will no longer control your decisions. You will not return to disrespectful people simply because the evening feels quiet. You will not accept weak friendships because you are afraid of having none. You will not beg for visits, force conversations, or remain attached to anyone who treats your presence like an option. You will allow temporary loneliness to pass rather than creating permanent pain by choosing the wrong people. A powerful life begins when your happiness becomes active instead of dependent. You stop waiting for something outside you to change before you allow yourself to enjoy the day. You understand that nobody is coming to turn on the light inside your life. That responsibility belongs to you. You can create warmth in your home, movement in your body, purpose in your schedule, and peace in your mind. You can turn an empty afternoon into a meaningful memory simply by deciding that your time deserves to be lived. One day, people may call, text, visit, and fill your calendar again. Welcome them with an open heart, but do not hand them ownership of your happiness. Let their presence be an addition, not the foundation. Let conversations brighten your day, but never make silence destroy it. Let people be part of your beautiful life, but never wait for them to give you permission to begin living it. When nobody calls, you still have your voice. When nobody texts, you still have your thoughts. When nobody visits, you still have a home within yourself. The moment you understand this, silence stops feeling like rejection. It becomes proof that you are capable of creating a peaceful, meaningful, and beautiful life, even when nobody else is there to witness it. Chapter 5. Stop measuring your worth by attention. One of the most dangerous habits you can develop is allowing other people's attention to decide how valuable you feel. When people call, praise, include, or notice you, your confidence rises. When they become distant, reply late, forget to invite you, or give their attention to someone else, your confidence falls. Without realizing it, you begin living like your worth is something other people can increase or reduce. You start checking your phone, not because you need information, but because you need proof that someone remembers you. You watch who viewed your message, who reacted to your picture, who noticed your absence, and who made an effort to contact you. Every response feels like approval, and every silence feels like rejection. This is how attention becomes an addiction. It gives you a temporary feeling of importance, but the moment it disappears, you feel empty again. You were never meant to build your identity on something so unstable. People's attention changes for countless reasons. They become busy, distracted, emotionally tired, interested in someone new, or overwhelmed by their own lives. Their behavior may have very little to do with your value, yet you take every change personally. You assume that if someone talks to you less, you have become less interesting. If a friend chooses someone else, you have become less important. If a person stops complimenting you, you are no longer attractive, talented, or worthy. These conclusions are painful, but they are not facts. They are fears created by a mind that has forgotten how to validate itself. Attention feels powerful because it creates the illusion of connection. Someone listens, responds, laughs, praises, or shows interest, and for a moment you feel seen. There is nothing wrong with enjoying this. The problem begins when being seen by others becomes the only way you can see yourself. You begin performing instead of living. You say things to receive reactions. You hide parts of yourself that may not be accepted. You change your opinions, appearance, behavior, and boundaries to remain desirable. You become whoever you believe people will notice, while the real you quietly disappears beneath the performance. This kind of life is exhausting because attention must constantly be earned again. Yesterday's compliment cannot satisfy today's insecurity. Last week's invitation cannot protect you from today's silence. You keep needing more proof because external validation never reaches the part of you that believes you are not enough. It may cover the wound briefly, but it does not heal it. That is why even people with thousands of followers, endless praise, or constant company can still feel deeply insecure. Attention can surround a person without ever giving them self-worth. To become free, you must separate your value from people's reactions. Start by noticing how often your mood depends on being acknowledged. Pay attention to what happens inside you when someone does not reply, when nobody compliments your effort, or when you enter a room and are not immediately noticed. Do you become anxious? Do you question yourself? Do you feel tempted to say more, post more, or do something dramatic just to receive a response? These moments reveal where you have given away your emotional power. Instead of immediately searching for reassurance, remain still. Let the discomfort appear without obeying it. Tell yourself, their silence does not define me. Their attention is not the source of my value. At first, these words may feel weak because your old beliefs are stronger. Continue anyway. Self-worth is not built through one powerful sentence. It is built through repeated choices that teach your mind you will no longer abandon yourself whenever someone else becomes unavailable. Begin doing meaningful things without announcing them. Exercise without posting the result. Read without telling everyone which book you finished. Work quietly on a goal without asking people whether they believe in you. Improve your habits without waiting for applause. When every action is shared, part of your motivation becomes connected to the reaction. When you learn to act privately, you discover whether the goal truly belongs to you. You begin experiencing a deeper form of satisfaction, the peace of knowing you did something valuable, even though nobody saw it. This private discipline changes you. You stop asking, "Will people be impressed?" and begin asking, "Will this make my life better?" You stop choosing what receives attention and start choosing what creates growth. You become willing to take the slower path, the quieter path, and the less glamorous path because you no longer need every decision to produce immediate recognition. Your life becomes more honest when it is not constantly being performed for an audience. You must also stop confusing popularity with importance. A person can receive endless attention and still have no peace, no discipline, and no clear direction. Another person may live quietly, rarely be noticed, and still possess wisdom, strength, loyalty, and depth. The world often rewards what is visible, dramatic, and entertaining, but some of the most valuable qualities grow in silence. Patience is quiet. Integrity is quiet. Self-control is quiet. Healing is quiet. Building a strong life often looks unimpressive while it is happening. Do not underestimate yourself because your progress is not being celebrated. Many people only notice results after years of invisible effort. They see confidence, but not the lonely nights spent rebuilding it. They see success, but not the mornings when discipline was stronger than motivation. They see peace, but not the difficult boundaries that had to be created. If you require encouragement at every stage, you may quit during the exact season that is preparing you for something greater. Learn to become your own witness. Notice your own effort. Acknowledge how much you have survived, how many difficult days you continued through, and how often you kept going without support. This does not mean pretending you are perfect. It means developing a fair relationship with yourself. Many people remember every mistake they make but ignore every sign of growth. They speak harshly to themselves, then wonder why praise from others feels so necessary. When your inner voice is constantly attacking you, external approval becomes emotional medicine. Change the voice, and the addiction begins to weaken. Speak to yourself with honesty and respect. Instead of saying, "Nobody notices me because I am not good enough," say, "I do not need to be noticed to keep improving." Instead of saying, "They chose someone else, so I must be less valuable," say, "Another person's preference does not decide my worth." Instead of saying, "Nobody praised what I did," say, "I know the effort it required, and I am proud that I finished." These thoughts may sound simple, but repeated consistently, they rebuild the foundation of your identity. You also need standards for the kind of attention you accept. Not all attention is respect. Some people notice you only when they are lonely, bored, or in need of something. They disappear when you need support and return when they want comfort. They offer just enough interest to keep you emotionally available, but never enough consistency to make you feel secure. When you are hungry for attention, even small amounts can feel meaningful. You overlook the inconsistency because you are grateful to be noticed at all. This is why self-worth protects you. When you value yourself, you stop accepting attention that leaves you confused, anxious, or emotionally exhausted. You understand that being contacted is not the same as being cared for. Being desired is not the same as being respected. Being watched is not the same as being understood. Someone giving you attention does not automatically mean they deserve access to your time, emotions, or life. You begin judging relationships by their quality rather than their intensity. Does this person respect your boundaries? Do they remain consistent when they need nothing from you? Can they celebrate your growth without feeling threatened? Do their actions match their words? Do you feel peaceful after speaking to them, or do you feel uncertain and emotionally drained? These questions matter far more than how often someone messages you. Another important step is learning not to chase attention when you feel insecure. In weak moments, you may be tempted to reach out to someone who repeatedly disappoints you, post something for a specific reaction, or change yourself to become more desirable. Pause before acting. Ask yourself what feeling you are trying to escape. Are you lonely, rejected, bored, afraid that someone is forgetting you? Name the emotion instead of immediately trying to remove it through another person. Once you identify the feeling, give yourself what you actually need. If you are lonely, create a meaningful activity or contact someone who has shown genuine care. If you feel rejected, remind yourself that one person's choice cannot define your future. If you are bored, work on something that strengthens you. If you feel forgotten, return to the promises you made to yourself. Every time you respond to your own emotional needs, instead of chasing unreliable attention, you become more secure. This does not mean isolating yourself or pretending you do not need human connection. Healthy relationships are important. Being loved, appreciated, and supported is beautiful. The goal is not to become indifferent to everyone. The goal is to stop collapsing when attention changes. You should be able to enjoy love without becoming dependent on constant reassurance. You should be able to appreciate praise without needing it to believe in yourself. You should be able to miss someone without losing your identity. There is great power in being the same person, whether the room applauds or remains silent. When people praise you, you stay grounded. When they ignore you, you stay focused. When they misunderstand you, you do not immediately abandon your truth to regain approval. When they leave, you grieve honestly but do not decide that your life has lost its meaning. This steadiness is emotional freedom. You may notice that some people react differently when you stop seeking their attention. Those who benefited from your insecurity may become uncomfortable. They may give you less effort to see whether you will chase them again. They may call you distant because you no longer respond to every small signal. They may try to make you jealous, uncertain, or afraid of losing them. Do not mistake manipulation for love. Anyone who needs you to feel insecure in order to keep you close does not value your peace. Let your absence reveal what your constant effort was hiding. Stop carrying conversations that only survive because you keep beginning them. Stop forcing closeness with people who repeatedly make you feel unwanted. Stop proving your loyalty to those who offer you convenience instead of commitment. When you step back, you may discover that some connections disappear completely. Let them. Losing one-sided attention is not losing love. It is losing an illusion that prevented you from seeing how little was being returned. Use that energy to build a life that gives you internal evidence of your value. Keep promises to yourself. Finish what you begin. Care for your health. Learn something difficult. Manage your money wisely. Protect your time. Leave situations that repeatedly damage your dignity. Every self-respecting decision sends a powerful message inward. I matter enough to be protected. I matter enough to be disciplined. I matter enough to build a better future. This is how self-worth becomes real. It is not created by repeating that you are valuable while continuing to accept what destroys you. It is created when your choices begin proving that you believe you deserve peace, growth, honesty, and respect. You cannot control who notices you, but you can control whether you notice your own needs. You cannot force people to appreciate you, but you can stop participating in relationships where appreciation is constantly missing. One day, you will look at your silent phone and feel calm. You will no longer assume that quiet means rejection. You will have plans, goals, routines, and interests that exist beyond other people's attention. You will enjoy messages when they arrive, without feeling empty when they do not. You will understand that attention is a pleasant experience, not emotional oxygen. The deepest confidence begins when you stop asking the world to confirm what you have already decided about yourself. You decide that your life matters, even on unnoticed days. Your effort matters, even without applause. Your beauty remains even when nobody compliments it. Your ideas remain valuable even when nobody agrees. Your heart remains worthy even after someone fails to protect it. You do not need to become the center of someone else's world to become the center of your own responsibility. Give yourself the care you keep demanding from people. Offer yourself the patience you wish others would show. Keep your own company with respect. Build quietly, improve honestly, and allow your results to grow without constant announcement. When you stop measuring your worth by attention, you no longer feel desperate to be chosen by everyone. You become more careful about whom you choose. You stop performing for approval and begin living from truth. You stop fearing invisibility because you know that the most important person in your life has finally started seeing you clearly, and that person is you. Chapter 6. Take yourself everywhere you keep waiting for someone else to take you. How many beautiful experiences have you postponed because nobody was available to go with you? How many cafes, parks, bookstores, beaches, museums, restaurants, cities, and peaceful places have remained unseen because you kept telling yourself that you would visit them when the right person arrived? You may have saved locations on your phone, imagined perfect weekends, planned small adventures, and then allowed months or years to pass because your happiness was waiting for company. Without realizing it, you placed your life on hold. You treated another person's presence like a ticket you needed before you were allowed to begin enjoying the world. But every day you spend waiting is a day of your life that will never return. Many people believe doing things alone will make them look lonely. They imagine sitting in a restaurant while others silently judge them, walking through a park while couples pass by, or entering a cinema without someone beside them. They fear being noticed as the person who came alone. Yet most people are too occupied with their own lives to study yours. The embarrassment exists mainly inside your mind. You are not afraid of the activity itself. You are afraid of the meaning you have attached to it. You believe company means you are loved, while solitude means you have been rejected. Until you challenge that belief, you will keep missing experiences that could make your life richer. There is nothing tragic about a person peacefully enjoying their own company. In fact, there is something powerful about someone who does not require an audience to live fully. They do not cancel their happiness because a friend became busy. They do not remain trapped indoors because nobody accepted the invitation. They do not need another person to prove that the moment matters. They understand that the sunset remains beautiful, whether they watch it alone or with someone else. The meal still has flavor. The music still reaches the heart. The journey still teaches something. The memory still belongs to them. At first, taking yourself somewhere may feel uncomfortable. You may walk through the door and wonder where to look, what to do with your hands, or whether people are noticing you. You may reach for your phone to appear busy because simply sitting with yourself feels too exposed. Do not run from that discomfort. It is not evidence that you should leave. It is evidence that you are learning a new form of confidence. Stay long enough for your nervousness to settle. Notice your surroundings. Listen to the conversations without judging them. Observe the light, the sounds, the movement, and the details you normally miss when your attention is focused on another person. Begin small if necessary. Take yourself for a short walk without calling anyone. Sit in a cafe with a book. Visit a familiar store and take your time instead of rushing. Eat one simple meal alone without hiding behind endless scrolling. Go somewhere quiet and watch the world move around you. These experiences may seem ordinary, but they are training your mind to understand that your presence is enough to enter a place, occupy space, and enjoy a moment. The goal is not to prove that you need nobody. The goal is to stop needing someone's availability before you allow yourself to live. Healthy companionship is beautiful. Sharing laughter, travel, food, and memories with another person can bring enormous joy. But companionship should add to your life, not unlock it. When your happiness remains locked until another person arrives, you become dependent on schedules, moods, promises, and decisions you cannot control. You give other people the power to cancel experiences they never even knew you were waiting to have. Perhaps you have heard someone say, "We will go someday," and you believed them. You waited for the right weekend, the right season, the right amount of money, or the right stage of the relationship, but someday remained distant. Plans changed, people became busy, relationships ended. The place you wanted to visit remained on a list while time continued moving. There is a lesson hidden in these disappointments. Do not build your entire future around promises made by people whose lives can change. Take yourself where you wanted them to take you, not as an act of revenge, and not to show anyone what they lost, but as an act of respect toward your own life. Visit the place because you wanted to see it. Order the meal because you wanted to taste it. Watch the film because it interested you. Buy the ticket because the experience matters to you. Your desire does not become unimportant simply because another person is unavailable. Many people spend their lives waiting to be chosen for experiences they could have chosen for themselves. They wait for someone to invite them to dinner, plan a trip, suggest an activity, or create excitement. Then they feel forgotten when nobody does. But adulthood requires you to become an active participant in your own happiness. You cannot sit quietly inside your life and expect others to continuously arrive with plans. Sometimes you must become the person who creates the day you need. Ask yourself what kind of experiences make you feel alive. Do you enjoy nature, quiet cafes, historical places, busy markets, photography, long drives, art, music, exercise, or learning? Do not answer according to what looks impressive online. Answer according to what makes you feel curious, peaceful, and awake. Solitude gives you the opportunity to discover your real preferences because you are no longer adjusting every decision to another person's taste. When you go somewhere with other people, compromise is often necessary. You eat where the group agrees, leave when they are ready, move at their speed, and give attention to the conversation. When you go alone, the experience becomes entirely yours. You can wake up early, change the plan, stay longer, leave sooner, take the slower road, or sit in silence without explaining yourself. You begin noticing that being alone does not remove freedom from the experience. Sometimes it creates more of it. Taking yourself out also changes your relationship with confidence. Confidence is not created by waiting until you no longer feel awkward. It is created by doing meaningful things while awkwardness is still present. The first solo visit may feel strange. The second may feel easier. Eventually, you stop seeing yourself as someone who has nobody to accompany them and begin seeing yourself as someone who can accompany themselves anywhere. This shift matters because the way you describe your solitude changes the way you experience it. Saying, "I have nobody to go with," makes you feel powerless. Saying, "I am taking myself," creates agency. The location may be the same, but the meaning is completely different. One sentence describes abandonment. The other describes a decision. Do not wait until you feel completely healed, confident, wealthy, or fearless. Life rarely gives perfect conditions. There will always be a reason to postpone living. You may tell yourself you need better clothes, more money, a better body, a happier mood, or more confidence. But confidence grows through experience. Joy often appears after you begin, not before. You cannot think your way into a full life while remaining in the same room. Be practical, of course. Consider safety, cost, distance, and timing. Plan responsibly, especially when visiting unfamiliar places. Tell someone where you are going when necessary. Choose secure environments and trust your instincts. Independence does not mean becoming careless. It means learning to protect yourself without imprisoning yourself. The world is filled with experiences that do not require wealth. A peaceful walk can change the direction of your thoughts. A library can introduce you to an entirely different life. A public garden can remind you that beauty exists quietly. A simple meal eaten slowly can feel more satisfying than an expensive evening spent with people who make you feel invisible. Do not confuse a beautiful life with a costly life. Beauty often comes from attention, not money. When you stop waiting for company, you begin reclaiming time. Weekends stop feeling like empty spaces you must survive. Evenings stop becoming endless hours spent checking who is available. You begin planning something small for yourself. Perhaps you watch the sunrise, explore a new neighborhood, learn to cook something difficult, visit a place of worship, take photographs, exercise outdoors, or spend time near water. These activities give your days shape and create memories that are not attached to another person's willingness to stay. You may discover sadness during some of these experiences. A beautiful place may remind you of someone you hoped would be there. You may see friends laughing or couples walking together and feel the absence of what you wanted. Do not believe that this feeling ruins the moment. Happiness and sadness can exist together. You can miss someone while still appreciating where you are. You can wish for companionship without abandoning yourself. Emotional strength does not mean never feeling the ache. It means refusing to let the ache send you back home before life has a chance to reach you. Sometimes the person you miss would not have made the experience better. You may be longing for an idea rather than the reality. You imagine that their presence would have filled the day with happiness, but perhaps they would have complained, remained distracted, created tension, or made you feel alone while sitting beside you. Physical company does not guarantee emotional connection. Some of the loneliest moments happen beside someone who does not see you. Your own company can become more peaceful than forced companionship. You do not have to impress yourself. You do not have to search for the right words, hide your mood, or pretend to enjoy something. You can simply be present. This honesty creates rest. It teaches you that loneliness is not always the absence of people. Sometimes it is the absence of connection with yourself. As you become comfortable doing things alone, your standards for relationships improve. You stop keeping unreliable people close merely because you need someone to accompany you. You stop accepting last-minute attention from people who disappear whenever you need consistency. You no longer feel tempted to tolerate disrespect for the sake of having plans. When your own company becomes enjoyable, bad company loses its advantage. This is one of the greatest rewards of independence. You choose people because their presence is healthy, not because their presence protects you from silence. You can decline invitations that feel wrong. You can leave gatherings where you are disrespected. You can spend a weekend alone, rather than forcing yourself into a group where you must shrink to belong. Your ability to enjoy solitude becomes a shield against relationships built on fear. You also become a better companion to others. When you are not desperate for people to fill your time, you stop placing heavy expectations on them. You do not demand that one person attend every event, answer every call, or create every happy moment. You bring your own interests, stories, experiences, and energy into relationships. You become someone who shares a life rather than someone asking another person to provide one. There is a difference between inviting someone and waiting for permission. Invite people when you genuinely want their company, but keep your life moving if they cannot come. Say, "I am going on Saturday. You are welcome to join me," instead of, "I can only go if you come." This small change protects your plans from being controlled by another person's answer. A yes becomes a pleasant addition. A no no longer becomes the end of the experience. Over time, you will create memories that change how you see yourself. You will remember the first time you entered a new place alone, the nervousness you felt, and the pride that came after. You will remember getting lost and finding your way, solving small problems without help, and discovering something unexpected. These experiences become evidence that you can trust yourself. Self-trust is not built only through large achievements. It is built every time you make a plan and follow through, even when nobody joins you. When you promise yourself a peaceful afternoon and create it, you prove that your happiness is safe in your hands. When you take yourself somewhere you have always wanted to go, you send a powerful message inward. My desires matter. My time matters. My life will not remain unfinished while I wait for someone else. Do not turn solo experiences into performances for social media. You may share them, but do not spend the entire moment trying to prove that you are happy alone. The deepest independence does not need to be announced. You are not taking yourself somewhere to make someone jealous, create an image, or receive praise for being confident. You are going because the experience itself deserves your attention. Put the phone away sometimes. Look at what is in front of you. Taste the food while it is warm. Notice the architecture, trees, faces, sky, and movement. Let the moment reach you before you turn it into content for others. A life constantly documented can still be barely experienced. You may meet new people when you begin going out alone, but that should not become the hidden purpose. Do not enter every place scanning for someone who might rescue you from solitude. Let the experience remain complete, even when no conversation begins. If connection appears naturally, welcome it. If nobody speaks to you, the day has not failed. There is beauty in becoming someone who can enter a room alone without feeling incomplete. You are not waiting to be claimed, chosen, or accompanied. You belong to yourself. Your presence gives you the right to enjoy the space. You do not need to explain why you came alone, apologize for it, or hide it. The confidence is quiet. You simply arrive. Think about the future you desire. Perhaps you imagine travel, peaceful mornings, meaningful work, new skills, beautiful meals, nature, creativity, and freedom. How much of that future actually requires another person? Some dreams may be richer when shared, but many can begin now. Do not reject the life available to you because it does not yet look like the version you imagined. Sometimes the beautiful life begins in a different order. You thought the relationship would come first and the adventures would follow. Instead, the adventures may come first, teaching you who you are before the right relationship arrives. You thought someone would introduce you to the world, but perhaps you must explore the world and meet yourself there. This season of your life may not be empty. It may be unclaimed. It may be waiting for you to stop staring at the people who are absent and start noticing everything that remains. You still have time, curiosity, movement, choice, and possibility. You can begin with one afternoon, one destination, and one decision not to cancel. Choose a place you have been waiting to visit. Make a simple plan. Decide when you will go, what you need, how much it will cost, and how you will travel safely. Do not invite 10 people and allow their hesitation to weaken your decision. Invite someone if you wish, but make the plan belong to you. Then go. The first step outside may feel small, but it represents something much larger. You are no longer waiting to be taken into your own life. You are leading yourself into it. You are no longer asking whether someone else believes the day is worth experiencing. You have already decided that it is. One day, you may share these places with someone you love. You may return with a friend, partner, or family member and create a different kind of memory. But you will never again believe that beauty requires another person's presence. You will know that companionship can deepen a moment, but your awareness is what makes the moment alive. Stop waiting for someone to knock on your door and announce that your life is beginning. Stop saving every meaningful experience for a future relationship. Stop allowing unanswered messages, cancelled plans, and unavailable people to determine the size of your world. Take yourself to the places that make you curious. Take yourself toward peace. Take yourself into nature, learning, movement, creativity, and wonder. Take yourself seriously enough to keep the promises others never fulfilled. You are not a person waiting to be collected. You are a person capable of choosing a direction and moving toward it. The world does not become closed because you are walking through it alone. In many ways, it becomes more open because you are finally free to discover what truly belongs to you. Your beautiful life will not begin when someone agrees to join you. It begins the moment you stop waiting at the door, take your own hand, and go. Chapter 7. Build a life so beautiful, you no longer need constant company. A beautiful life is not a life filled with people every hour of the day. It is a life filled with meaning, peace, purpose, curiosity, and moments that still feel valuable when nobody else is there. Many people never build this kind of life because they spend most of their energy trying to keep others close. They wait for messages before they feel excited, invitations before they make plans, and companionship before they allow themselves to enjoy anything. Their happiness remains dependent on who is available, who remembers them, and who chooses to stay. As a result, even when they are surrounded by people, they feel restless because their peace has never been built from within. Constant company can become a distraction from an empty life. When you are always talking, scrolling, visiting, or searching for someone to spend time with, you never have to ask yourself whether your own days feel meaningful. You may believe you miss a particular person when, in reality, you miss having someone protect you from boredom. You may believe you need a relationship when what you truly need is a purpose. You may believe you are lonely when your life simply lacks structure, movement, growth, and experiences that belong to you. This is why learning to enjoy being alone is not only about becoming comfortable with silence, it is about creating something worth returning to when the noise disappears. You need a life that welcomes you when everyone goes home. You need mornings that do not feel empty without a message, evenings that do not collapse without plans, and weekends that do not become painful because nobody invited you anywhere. You need interests that awaken your mind, routines that protect your energy, goals that give your days direction, and a home that feels like a place of peace instead of a room where you wait for attention. Begin by looking honestly at your current life. When nobody contacts you, what remains? Do you have something meaningful to work toward, or do you immediately search for distraction? Do you know how to use your time, or do quiet hours make you feel trapped? Do you have interests that genuinely excite you, or have you spent so long adapting to other people that you no longer know what you enjoy? These questions are not meant to shame you. They are meant to show you where your beautiful life must begin. Your first responsibility is to create days with shape. An unstructured day can quickly become an emotional trap. You wake up without a plan, reach for your phone, compare your life to other people, wait for someone to contact you, and then wonder why the day feels heavy. Hours pass without intention, and the emptiness grows. By evening, you believe the problem is that nobody was there, but often the deeper problem is that you did not give the day a direction. Create simple routines that make your life feel stable. Wake up at a time that respects the future you are trying to build. Make your bed, open the curtains, drink water, move your body, and decide what matters before the outside world begins demanding your attention. You do not need a perfect schedule. You need a few promises you can keep consistently. A peaceful morning, focused work, physical movement, time for learning, and a quiet evening can transform the emotional atmosphere of your life. Routine may sound ordinary, but ordinary actions create extraordinary stability. When you know how to care for your day, you stop needing another person to rescue you from it. You are no longer lying in bed waiting for excitement to arrive through a screen. You are creating movement with your own decisions. Each completed task gives you evidence that your life is active, not abandoned. Your environment also matters. It is difficult to feel peaceful in a space that constantly drains you. A messy room, poor lighting, unnecessary clutter, and objects connected to painful memories can make solitude feel heavier than it needs to be. Your surroundings quietly communicate with your mind. When your home feels neglected, you may begin feeling neglected too. Make your space a place you enjoy returning to. Clean it, organize it, and remove what no longer belongs. You do not need expensive furniture or a perfect home. Small changes can create warmth. Open a window. Let fresh air enter. Arrange your belongings carefully. Keep one corner for reading, thinking, or drinking tea. Use soft light in the evening. Place something meaningful where you can see it. Create order, not to impress visitors, but to show yourself that your peace deserves preparation. Do not wait until someone visits before you clean the room. Use the beautiful cup. Cook a proper meal, or create a peaceful atmosphere. You live there. Your presence is already a worthy reason. A beautiful life begins when you stop saving your best effort for other people. Food can also become part of your relationship with yourself. Many people treat meals alone as meaningless. They eat quickly, stand near the kitchen counter, or scroll while barely noticing the food. Yet when someone visits, they prepare everything carefully. This reveals a painful belief that effort is only worthwhile when another person is watching. Prepare something for yourself with attention. It does not need to be complicated. Sit down, taste it slowly. Let the meal become a moment rather than a task. You are teaching yourself that your own life deserves care. These small acts may seem unimportant, but they rebuild self-respect more effectively than dramatic promises. A beautiful life also needs movement. The body was not designed to spend every quiet day sitting still while the mind repeats painful thoughts. When you remain inactive for too long, sadness often becomes louder. Movement changes the emotional energy of a day. Walk, stretch, exercise, clean, garden, cycle, or learn a physical skill. You do not need to become an athlete. You need to remind your body that life is still moving through you. Exercise is especially powerful because it gives solitude a purpose. You are no longer alone with endless thoughts. You are building strength, patience, and discipline. You begin noticing progress that has nothing to do with anyone else's approval. Your body becomes evidence that consistent effort creates change. This teaches a lesson that reaches far beyond health. You can improve your life quietly, one decision at a time. Your mind also needs nourishment. Constant entertainment may keep you occupied, but it does not always make your life meaningful. Hours of random videos, endless scrolling, and shallow content can leave you more restless than before. Distraction fills time without filling you. Choose information that expands your world. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to thoughtful conversations. Study a subject that has always interested you. Learn a language, a practical skill, or something connected to your future. Curiosity makes solitude feel alive because you stop viewing an empty hour as something to escape. It becomes time you can use to become more capable. The more you learn, the more interesting your own company becomes. Your thoughts deepen, your questions improve. You develop opinions, ideas, and understanding that are not borrowed from the people around you. You stop needing constant conversation because your mind is no longer an empty room. It becomes a place of discovery. Creativity can transform solitude in the same way. You do not need to be an artist to create. Write, draw, cook, photograph, decorate, repair, design, build, sing, plant, or make something with your hands. Creation changes your role from consumer to participant. Instead of waiting for the world to entertain you, you begin adding something to it. When you create, time feels different. Your attention becomes focused, your emotions find direction, and you experience the satisfaction of bringing something into existence. The result does not need to be perfect or public. It only needs to be honest. A private page of writing, a simple photograph, or a meal made with care can become proof that your quiet hours are not empty. They are fertile. You also need goals that extend beyond social connection. If your only hope is to find the right person, receive more attention, or become part of a group, your life will feel incomplete until those things happen. Build goals that remain meaningful, whether someone stays or leaves. Improve your health, save money, develop a skill, complete a course, start a project, strengthen your spiritual life, create a home you love, travel somewhere meaningful, help someone, build something that reflects your values. A goal gives your pain somewhere useful to go. Instead of spending every evening thinking about who left, you begin working on who you are becoming. Progress does not erase loneliness immediately, but it prevents loneliness from becoming the center of your identity. You may still miss people, but your whole life no longer stops because of their absence. Be careful, however, not to turn productivity into another form of escape. A beautiful life is not one where you are constantly busy because you are afraid to feel. You also need rest. Learn to sit without guilt, sleep enough, spend time in nature. Let some moments be slow. The purpose of building a full life is not to exhaust yourself until you no longer notice loneliness. It is to create a healthy balance of effort, recovery, enjoyment, and reflection. Rest becomes beautiful when it is chosen instead of forced by emptiness. There is a difference between lying in bed all day because you feel defeated and choosing a quiet afternoon because your body needs peace. One weakens you, the other restores you. Learn the difference. Nature is one of the simplest ways to reconnect with life. A tree does not ask whether you arrived alone. The sky does not require you to bring company. The sound of rain does not become less peaceful because nobody else hears it beside you. Nature allows you to experience beauty without performance. Walk slowly. Notice the wind, light, clouds, birds, water, and changing seasons. These details remind you that life is constantly happening beyond your private worries. When you spend time outside, your problems often return to their proper size. The mind that felt trapped inside one unanswered message begins remembering that the world is much larger. Nature does not solve everything, but it interrupts the belief that your pain is the only reality. Your beautiful life also needs connection, but not constant access to people. The goal is not to isolate yourself. Human beings need relationships, conversation, care, and belonging. The lesson is to choose connection from wholeness rather than desperation. You can reach out, make plans, join communities, and build friendships without expecting people to fill every empty space. Quality matters more than constant company. One honest conversation can be more valuable than a week spent around people who never truly listen. A few respectful relationships can be more nourishing than a large circle filled with competition, gossip, and emotional uncertainty. Do not measure the richness of your social life by how many people are around you. Measure it by how peaceful, understood, and respected you feel when you are with them. When you build a meaningful life alone, your relationships improve because you stop approaching people with hidden demands. You no longer expect them to remove your boredom, regulate your emotions, or give your identity value. You can enjoy them without clinging to them. You can allow them to have their own lives without immediately feeling abandoned. Their presence becomes a gift instead of a necessity. This emotional independence makes love healthier. You stop asking one person to become your entire world. You understand that no individual can be your only friend, source of motivation, entertainment, comfort, purpose, and confidence. That burden is too heavy for any relationship. When your life already contains purpose, interests, routines, and self-respect, love has room to breathe. You should also develop the courage to experience pleasure without witnesses. Many people struggle to enjoy something unless they can share it online or tell someone about it. They take a beautiful walk, but spend the whole time photographing it. They eat a lovely meal, but focus on how it will appear to others. They travel somewhere peaceful, but remain busy proving that they are happy. Try keeping some moments only for yourself. Watch a sunset without recording it. Buy something small that brings you joy without announcing it. Visit a beautiful place and allow the memory to remain private. Private happiness creates a special kind of richness because it teaches you that an experience does not need outside recognition to be real. There is freedom in having a life that nobody fully knows. A quiet routine, a personal dream, a private place you love, or a skill you are developing can become a source of inner strength. Not everything valuable must be shown. Some parts of your life grow better away from constant observation. You must also learn to create excitement instead of waiting for it. Many people say their lives are boring while repeating the same habits every day. They remain inside familiar spaces, consume the same content, and then hope someone else will arrive and make life interesting. Excitement often begins with initiative. Try something new regularly. Change the route you walk. Visit a place you have never entered. Cook a dish you have never made. Attend a class. Explore a different part of your city. Learn a new skill. Rearrange your space. Begin a small challenge. Novelty wakes up the mind. It reminds you that your life still contains unexplored possibilities. Do not wait for a dramatic transformation. A beautiful life is built through small experiences, repeated with attention. A meaningful morning, a completed workout, a new idea, a peaceful walk, a clean room, a thoughtful book, and a good meal may appear ordinary, but together they create emotional wealth. You stop needing constant excitement because you become capable of noticing quiet satisfaction. Gratitude strengthens this ability. When your mind is trained only to notice what is missing, no life will feel beautiful. You can have comfort, health, time, safety, food, freedom, and opportunity, yet remain miserable because one person is absent. Gratitude does not mean ignoring pain. It means refusing to let pain erase everything that still exists. Each day, notice a few things that made life lighter. It may be warm sunlight, a good conversation, a completed task, clean clothes, a peaceful room, or a moment when your mind finally became quiet. Gratitude teaches you to recognize value before it disappears. It turns ordinary life into something you can actually feel. A beautiful life also requires boundaries. Without them, people can enter your peaceful world and fill it with chaos. Once you learn to enjoy your own company, you must become careful about whom you allow close. Not everyone deserves access to the life you worked hard to build. Some people will bring drama because they are uncomfortable with peace. Some will only contact you when they need something. Some will make you question yourself, interrupt your progress, or pull you back into habits you were trying to leave. Do not confuse company with contribution. A person can be present and still make your life poorer. Ask yourself what each relationship creates inside you. Do you feel calm, respected, and free to be honest? Or do you feel anxious, small, and constantly uncertain? Do they support your growth, or do they mock the changes you are making? Do they bring mutual care, or do they only consume your time and energy? Your beautiful life needs a gate. Boundaries decide who enters. At first, protecting your peace may make your life quieter. When you stop accepting shallow attention, forced plans, and one-sided relationships, some people will disappear. This silence may frighten you, but do not rush to fill it. Empty space is often necessary before something healthier can grow. A crowded life can leave no room for the right people, habits, and opportunities. Use the quiet to strengthen what belongs to you. Improve your routines, deepen your interests, continue building. The goal is not to prove that you are better without anyone. The goal is to become so grounded that you no longer invite chaos just to avoid being alone. There will still be difficult days. A meaningful life does not remove every lonely feeling. Birthdays, weekends, holidays, and quiet evenings may sometimes make absence feel stronger. You may wish someone were there. You may remember old connections or wonder why your life does not look like you expected. Allow the feeling without turning it into a judgment against yourself. You can feel lonely and still have a beautiful life. You can miss someone and still remain committed to your peace. You can desire companionship without believing you are incomplete. Emotional maturity means holding two truths at once. Connection matters, and your life still matters without constant connection. When loneliness appears, do not immediately destroy your standards. Do not return to people who repeatedly hurt you. Do not accept careless attention because the evening feels empty. Do not confuse temporary discomfort with proof that you made the wrong choice. Sometimes peace feels lonely before it starts feeling safe. Remember what chaos cost you. Remember the confusion, anxiety, disrespect, waiting, and emotional exhaustion. Solitude may be quiet, but unhealthy company is loud in ways that disturb your entire life. Choose the quiet long enough to hear yourself healing. You should also learn to celebrate your own progress. Do not wait for someone to notice how far you have come. Mark the moment when you complete a goal, break an unhealthy habit, protect a boundary, or survive a difficult season. Reward yourself in a healthy way. Take yourself somewhere peaceful. Write down what changed. Allow yourself to feel proud. Celebration is not arrogance, it is recognition. When nobody else sees the private battles you are winning, become the person who sees them. Your life becomes more satisfying when progress is acknowledged instead of immediately forgotten. As you continue building, something powerful will happen. You will stop checking constantly to see who is available. You will already have a plan. You will stop feeling that every free evening is a problem. You will know how to use it. You will stop chasing every invitation because your time will have value. You will become selective, not because you feel superior, but because you finally understand what peace is worth. People may begin to notice the change. You will appear calmer, more focused, and less desperate for approval. Some will respect it. Others may feel threatened because they can no longer control you with distance. When someone knows you are afraid to be alone, they can offer little effort and still expect you to stay. But when your life is already full, weak attention loses its power. You no longer accept plans that disrespect your time because you have something meaningful to do instead. You no longer tolerate inconsistent communication because silence is not frightening enough to make you beg. You no longer chase people who withdraw because their absence does not erase your direction. This is not coldness. It is self-respect strengthened by a life that no longer depends on crumbs. The most beautiful part of this transformation is that you become ready for healthier relationships. When the right people arrive, you do not ask them to save you from emptiness. You invite them into a life already filled with purpose. You bring stories, interests, strength, peace, and emotional maturity. You can love deeply without disappearing inside them. You understand that companionship is not ownership. People can be close without being responsible for every part of your happiness. They can have distance without you immediately imagining rejection. They can leave the room without taking your entire identity with them. You remain connected to yourself. Build this life patiently. Do not expect to wake up one morning completely free from loneliness. The process happens through hundreds of small decisions. Every time you choose a book over meaningless scrolling, a walk over waiting for a message, a goal over chasing someone, or peace over forced company, you are building it. Every time you clean your space, protect your health, learn something, create something, or keep a promise to yourself, you add another brick. Eventually, the life becomes strong enough to hold you. You look around and realize you are no longer waiting for someone to arrive and make everything meaningful. Meaning is already present. Your mornings belong to you. Your goals are moving. Your space feels peaceful. Your mind is growing. Your body is becoming stronger. Your interests are expanding. Your time is protected. You still welcome love, friendship, and companionship, but you no longer treat them as rescue. This is the point where solitude changes its name. It is no longer emptiness. It becomes freedom. It becomes time you can use, peace you can protect, and space where you can hear your own life clearly. Build a life that makes you excited to wake up even when no message is waiting. Build a home that comforts you even when no guest arrives. Build a mind that remains curious when no conversation begins. Build routines that support you when motivation disappears. Build dreams that continue moving even when nobody understands them. Do not create a life designed only to look beautiful from the outside. Create one that feels beautiful when the door closes and nobody is watching. A life where you can sit quietly and feel that your time has meaning. A life where your happiness is not constantly being borrowed from someone else's presence. The goal is not to need nobody. The goal is to stop needing constant company in order to believe your life is worth living. People will always matter. Love will always matter. But your relationship with yourself must matter too. When that relationship becomes strong, you no longer fear empty days. You know how to fill them with intention. You no longer panic when plans are cancelled. You already belong somewhere, inside the life you have built. You no longer feel forgotten when the phone is silent because you have not forgotten yourself. And one day, without realizing exactly when it happened, you will sit inside your own life and feel grateful that you stopped waiting. You will see that the silence gave you room to grow, the distance gave you clarity, and the lonely season forced you to build something nobody could take away. You will still enjoy company, but you will no longer depend on it. You will still love people, but you will not abandon yourself to keep them. You will still welcome beautiful connections, but they will enter as additions to your happiness, not replacements for it. That is when your life becomes truly beautiful, not because it is always crowded, exciting, or perfect, but because it remains meaningful, peaceful, and alive even when you are standing inside it alone. Chapter 8. Become so complete that nobody's absence can destroy your happiness. There is a painful moment in life when you realize how much of your happiness has been tied to people who were never guaranteed to stay. You built your peace around their presence, your confidence around their approval, and your future around promises they may no longer remember making. When they became distant, changed, or walked away, it felt as if they had taken your entire life with them. The days became heavier, familiar places felt empty, and even simple moments reminded you of what was gone. You did not only lose a person, you lost the version of yourself that existed when they were near. This is what happens when another person becomes the foundation of your emotional world. Their attention makes you feel valuable, their affection makes you feel safe, and their presence gives your life direction. At first, this can feel like love, but dependence quietly grows beneath it. You stop asking whether you are happy with your own life because you are too focused on whether they are happy with you. You stop building dreams that belong to you because your future has become attached to what you hope to create together. You slowly hand over responsibilities that were always yours. The responsibility to know yourself, comfort yourself, respect yourself, and continue living when life changes. Then one day, the connection breaks. Perhaps they leave suddenly. Perhaps they remain physically present but become emotionally distant. Perhaps the relationship ends after years of effort, or perhaps you realize that the person you loved never valued you in the way you believed. Whatever the reason, the pain can feel unbearable because your identity has become mixed with their presence. Without them, you do not know what to do with your mornings, your thoughts, or your future. But another person's departure does not have the power to destroy your entire life, unless your entire life was built around them. Their absence can hurt you, disappoint you, and force you through a difficult season, but it does not have to erase everything beautiful within you. You still have a mind capable of learning, a heart capable of healing, and a future that has not been cancelled. You still have choices, time, talents, and parts of yourself that may have been neglected while you were trying to keep someone else close. Becoming complete does not mean becoming emotionless. It does not mean never missing anyone, never grieving, or pretending that people do not matter. You may love someone deeply and still suffer when they leave. You may remember them for years. You may occasionally hear a song, pass a place, or experience a quiet evening that brings their memory back with unexpected force. Completeness does not remove these emotions. It gives you the strength to feel them without allowing them to control the direction of your life. A complete person does not say, "Nobody can hurt me." A complete person says, "I can be hurt without losing myself." They do not deny the loss, but they refuse to become the loss. They do not pretend the person was meaningless, but they stop believing that life has no meaning without them. They understand that pain is an experience passing through their life, not the permanent identity of who they are. The first step toward completeness is accepting that nobody belongs to you forever. This truth may sound cold, but it can create enormous freedom. People change, relationships evolve, circumstances separate people who once believed they would always remain close. Even the strongest connection cannot promise that life will stay the same. When you demand permanence from something naturally uncertain, fear enters the relationship. You begin holding too tightly, overthinking distance, and treating every change as a threat. Love becomes healthier when you understand that presence is a gift, not a possession. You can appreciate someone while they are near, without making them responsible for your entire emotional survival. You can love deeply without building your identity inside their choices. You can create memories without demanding that the future must always look the same. This does not weaken love, it removes fear from it. You must also stop treating someone's departure as proof that you were not enough. People leave for reasons connected to their own fears, desires, wounds, confusion, or direction. Sometimes they leave because the relationship is unhealthy. Sometimes they choose another life. Sometimes they are simply unable to offer the love, loyalty, or commitment you need. Their decision may hurt you, but it does not automatically reveal your value. A person can fail to recognize something valuable. Someone can receive genuine love and still mishandle it. Someone can walk away from a loyal heart because they are not ready, not mature, or not aligned with the same future. You do not become worthless because another person could not understand how to hold your presence correctly. Do not turn their choice into a lifelong sentence against yourself. Do not repeatedly ask what you lacked, what you should have changed, or why you were not enough to make them stay. Relationships are not always lost because one person lacked value. Sometimes two people simply cannot continue without harming each other. Sometimes staying would require you to betray your dignity, silence your needs, or accept a form of love that constantly leaves you uncertain. If keeping someone requires you to lose yourself, their presence is already costing too much. Completeness begins when you stop abandoning yourself to prevent someone else from abandoning you. You no longer silence your truth because you fear conflict. You no longer tolerate repeated disrespect because you fear loneliness. You no longer shrink your dreams to make another person comfortable. You no longer accept confusion as love because clarity might reveal that they are unwilling to choose you. Every time you betray yourself to keep someone, you teach your heart that their presence matters more than your peace. Eventually, even if they stay, you will feel empty because you are no longer present in your own life. The greatest abandonment is not always when another person leaves. Sometimes it is when you leave yourself while trying to make them remain. Return to yourself. Return to the interests you stopped pursuing. Return to the people you ignored while one relationship consumed your attention. Return to the dreams you postponed because they did not fit another person's plans. Return to the routines that once made you feel strong. Return to the qualities that existed before you began questioning whether you were lovable. You are not beginning from nothing. You are beginning from experience. Pain has shown you where you were dependent, where you ignored your needs, and where you allowed another person to decide how you felt about yourself. Use that knowledge. Do not simply rebuild the same emotional life and wait for a different person to enter it. Build a stronger foundation. Create an identity that does not disappear when a relationship changes. Know what you believe. Know what you value. Know what kind of treatment you will accept and what you will no longer tolerate. Know what you are building, even if nobody is walking beside you. When you know these things, love can enter your life without replacing you. Many people confuse being chosen with being complete. They believe that once someone loves them, commits to them, or stays beside them, their insecurities will disappear. But another person cannot permanently repair the relationship you refuse to build with yourself. They may reassure you, but reassurance will never feel like enough if you distrust your own worth. They may stay loyal, but you may still fear losing them if you believe you cannot survive alone. They may love you sincerely, but their love will constantly be tested if you expect it to fill every empty part of you. The purpose of love is not to complete an incomplete person. Healthy love brings two growing people together. Each person still has responsibilities, values, goals, friendships, and a private inner life. They support one another without becoming each other's only reason to exist. They can enjoy closeness without losing independence, and they can experience temporary distance without believing the relationship has disappeared. When your happiness depends entirely on someone's presence, you begin demanding things no human being can provide. You want them to answer every emotional need, remove every insecurity, understand every silence, and remain available whenever fear appears. Even a loving person will sometimes be tired, distracted, busy, or unable to respond exactly as you hope. If you have no emotional life outside them, every ordinary limitation feels like rejection. Learn to comfort yourself before immediately demanding reassurance. When fear appears, pause before sending the message, starting the argument, or imagining the worst. Ask yourself what you are truly afraid of. Are you afraid they will leave, or are you afraid that you will not know who you are if they do? Are you afraid of losing them, or are you afraid of facing the parts of your life you have neglected? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they reveal where your healing belongs. You cannot control whether every person stays, but you can become someone who remains present for yourself through every change. Self-comfort is a skill. It means learning how to calm your mind without immediately reaching for another person. It may involve breathing slowly, walking, writing your thoughts, praying, exercising, resting, or speaking honestly to someone trustworthy. It means reminding yourself that one difficult moment is not the end of your life. It means refusing to make permanent decisions while temporary emotions are controlling you. A complete person still asks for support. They are not ashamed to seek help, share pain, or lean on those they trust. The difference is that support helps them stand. It does not become the only thing holding them together. They can receive love without becoming unable to function without constant access to it. You also become complete by creating several sources of meaning. When your entire happiness comes from one person, their absence leaves nothing behind. But when your life contains purpose, faith, growth, meaningful work, health, creativity, learning, service, and healthy relationships, one loss cannot destroy every part of you. Think of your life as a home supported by many strong pillars. One pillar may be love. Another may be your purpose. Another may be your relationship with yourself. Another may be family, friendship, spiritual strength, health, or service to others. When one pillar becomes weak, the entire home does not collapse because everything was not placed on one support. Build these pillars patiently. Find work that gives your effort direction. Care for your body so you feel physically alive. Learn something that stretches your mind. Develop relationships that are based on mutual respect. Create private routines that restore your energy. Give your time to something larger than your personal pain. The wider your life becomes, the less power one absence has to reduce it to nothing. Purpose is especially important. When you have nothing meaningful to move toward, you are more likely to make another person the center of your life. Their messages become the most exciting part of your day. Their mood determines yours. Their plans become your plans. But when you are committed to building something meaningful, your life continues moving even when relationships become uncertain. Purpose does not remove heartbreak, but it gives you a direction while you heal. You can cry and still continue. You can miss someone and still show up for your responsibilities. You can grieve without allowing grief to consume every hour. Slowly, your future becomes larger than the memory. Do not rush this process. Completeness is not achieved by forcing yourself to forget someone. It is achieved by remembering yourself again. Some days will feel strong, and others will feel as if no progress has happened. Healing does not move in a straight line. You may go weeks without thinking about them, then suddenly feel everything again. This does not mean you have returned to the beginning. It means a deeper layer of pain is asking to be understood. Do not shame yourself for missing someone who was important to you. Missing them does not mean you should return. Loving them does not mean the relationship was right. Remembering good moments does not erase the reasons the connection ended. Your heart can hold affection and wisdom at the same time. When nostalgia appears, remember the whole truth. The mind often becomes selective after someone leaves. It repeats the beautiful memories and removes the confusion, disappointment, waiting, and disrespect. You begin missing the version of the relationship you wished existed rather than the reality you experienced. Do not allow loneliness to rewrite history. Remember how often you questioned your worth, how many conversations left you uncertain, and how much of yourself you lost while trying to make things work. The purpose is not to become bitter. It is to remain honest. Honesty protects you from returning to pain simply because solitude feels unfamiliar. Sometimes the hardest part of leaving an unhealthy connection is not missing the person, it is missing the habit. You became used to their presence, their messages, their problems, and the emotional intensity. Even chaos can feel comforting when it is familiar. Peace may initially feel empty because your nervous system has been trained to expect emotional highs and lows. You may mistake calmness for boredom and consistency for a lack of passion. Give yourself time to adjust. A quiet life is not a lifeless life. Stable love may feel less dramatic, but it gives you room to breathe. Completeness also requires forgiveness, but forgiveness does not always mean reopening the door. You can release hatred without restoring access. You can understand that someone acted from their own limitations while still deciding that their behavior has no place in your future. Forgiveness is often something you do to free your mind, not to rebuild the relationship. Holding anger can make another person remain emotionally present long after they have physically left. You repeat imaginary arguments, plan what you would say, and wait for the day they understand what they lost. This keeps your happiness tied to them. You are still waiting for their regret to validate your pain. You do not need their regret to heal. You do not need an apology to move forward. You do not need them to see your value before you begin respecting it. Some people will never fully understand how they affected you. Some will create a different version of the story in which they did nothing wrong. Let them. Your healing does not require their agreement. Release the desire to prove what they lost. Do not build your life as a performance designed to make them jealous. Do not improve only so they will return. Growth motivated by revenge still keeps them at the center. Build because your life deserves to become better. Heal because you deserve peace. Succeed because your future needs you, not because your past is watching. The moment your progress becomes private, it becomes more powerful. You stop checking whether they noticed. You stop wondering whether someone told them about you. You stop posting things with hidden messages. You begin living for the experience itself. This is freedom. When the person who hurt you is no longer the secret audience of your life. Becoming complete also means trusting that you can handle future losses. Fear often comes from believing that another painful experience will destroy you. But look at what you have already survived. There were moments you believed would never end, and yet you are still here. You continued breathing, learning, and moving even when your heart felt exhausted. Do not underestimate the strength you discovered in seasons you never wanted. Pain introduced you to parts of yourself that comfort could not reveal. You learned how to keep going without answers, how to sit through difficult nights, and how to rebuild after plans collapsed. You may not have chosen those lessons, but they became part of your strength. Use the past as evidence, not as a prison. It proves that you can survive change. It does not prove that every future relationship will hurt you. Do not allow one person's failure to make you suspicious of everyone. Completeness is not building walls so high that nobody can reach you. It is building doors with strong locks and learning who has earned the right to enter. You can remain open without becoming careless. You can love again without ignoring warning signs. You can trust gradually instead of offering complete access immediately. You can observe whether someone's actions remain consistent over time. You can ask clear questions, protect your boundaries, and leave when the relationship repeatedly damages your dignity. A complete person does not fear love. They fear losing themselves inside it, so they remain connected to who they are. They keep their goals, values, and healthy routines. They do not disappear from their own life simply because someone new has entered it. They understand that love should expand their world, not reduce it to one person. Maintain your friendships. Continue your interests. Protect time for yourself. Keep working toward the life you were building before the relationship began. This does not create distance. It creates balance. Two people should be able to stand beside each other without one becoming the entire ground beneath the other. There is also a spiritual form of completeness that comes from understanding that human beings are limited. People can love you deeply and still fail you. They can make sincere promises and still face circumstances they cannot control. When you expect people to provide perfect security, you will eventually feel disappointed. Place your deepest sense of stability in something greater than human attention. Whether you find that strength through faith, prayer, reflection, purpose, or service, develop a connection with life that remains when relationships change. You need an inner place where you can return when the outside world becomes uncertain. This inner place is built through stillness. Sit with yourself without immediately searching for distraction. Listen to what your pain is teaching you. Ask what this season is inviting you to change. Perhaps you need stronger boundaries. Perhaps you need to stop ignoring your own dreams. Perhaps you need to forgive yourself for staying too long. Perhaps you need to accept that the future you imagined is no longer the future you are meant to build. Acceptance does not mean you approve of what happened. It means you stop arguing with reality. The person left. The relationship changed. The promise was broken. These facts may be painful, but refusing to accept them keeps you emotionally trapped. You continue negotiating with a chapter that has already ended. Say the truth clearly. This is not the life I expected, but it is the life I have now, and I will not waste it. That sentence is not defeat. It is the beginning of power. It redirects your energy from trying to change the past toward creating the future. Your future may look different from what you planned, but different does not mean worse. Some doors close because you were about to spend years forcing something that could never give you peace. Some people leave because their presence was preventing you from discovering your own strength. Some endings create space for a life you could not imagine while you were holding tightly to the old one. Do not romanticize pain, but do not waste it either. Let it clarify your standards. Let it show you what you will never accept again. Let it deepen your compassion for yourself and others. Let it teach you that your happiness must be built on something stronger than another person's mood. Then begin creating that happiness deliberately. Do not wait to feel completely healed before you start living again. Healing often happens while you are living. It happens when you wake up and follow a simple routine despite sadness. It happens when you laugh unexpectedly and realize joy is still possible. It happens when you visit a place that once reminded you of them and create a new memory. It happens when you meet new people without comparing everyone to the past. It happens when you make a decision based on your future rather than your fear. Every small moment of peace is evidence that your happiness is returning to you. One day, you will notice that you went an entire morning without thinking about their absence. Then, an entire day. The memory may still exist, but it will no longer control the room. You will remember without collapsing. You will understand what happened without needing to relive it. Their name will become part of your history, not the center of your identity. This is what healing often looks like. Not forgetting, but becoming larger than the memory. You will begin enjoying your own company without secretly hoping someone will rescue you from it. You will make plans without waiting for another person's approval. You will enter quiet spaces and feel peaceful instead of rejected. You will know how to care for your emotions, protect your boundaries, and create meaning during uncertain seasons. You will stop asking, "Who will stay with me forever?" and begin asking, "How can I remain faithful to myself, no matter who comes or goes?" This question changes everything. It reminds you that your first responsibility is not to control another person's commitment. It is to protect your own integrity. You cannot force someone to choose you, but you can choose not to abandon yourself. You cannot guarantee that nobody will leave, but you can guarantee that you will not destroy your dignity trying to stop them. When someone enters your life, love them with openness, but keep your roots inside yourself. Enjoy the connection, but continue nurturing your own identity. Listen to their words, but observe their actions. Give effort, but do not become the only person carrying the relationship. Be patient, but do not confuse endless waiting with loyalty. If they stay, let the relationship grow with freedom and respect. If they leave, allow yourself to grieve, but remember that you still belong to yourself. Your completeness will not make loss painless, but it will make recovery possible. You will know where to return. You will return to your routines, purpose, values, faith, work, body, and inner voice. You will return to the life that existed beyond the relationship. You will not be starting over from emptiness because you never placed everything in another person's hands. This is the kind of happiness nobody's absence can completely destroy. It is not based on constant excitement. It is based on a deep relationship with yourself. It comes from knowing that you can create peace, meaning, and direction through your own choices. It is supported by values that remain when feelings change. You may still cry. You may still have difficult anniversaries, quiet nights, and moments when the old life feels close, but the pain will no longer convince you that you are nothing without them. You will know that grief is visiting, not moving in permanently. Let people be important without making them your entire existence. Let them bring happiness without becoming its only source. Let them walk beside you without becoming the path itself. Let them love you without carrying the responsibility of proving that your life matters. Your life mattered before they arrived. It matters after they leave. It matters on days when nobody calls, praises, chooses, or understands you. Your value does not disappear in silence. You are a whole person with a future that extends beyond every relationship. There are experiences you have not yet had, places you have not seen, skills you have not developed, and versions of yourself you have not met. Do not reduce all that possibility to one person's decision. Your heart may have been broken, but your life is not broken. Your plans may have changed, but your ability to create has not disappeared. Someone may have stopped choosing you, but you can begin choosing yourself with greater honesty than ever before. Choose yourself by protecting your peace. Choose yourself by refusing weak love. Choose yourself by keeping promises to your future. Choose yourself by building a life that continues moving even when the people around you change. Do not become complete so you can prove that you need nobody. Become complete so you can love without fear, connect without losing yourself, and survive every season without believing your life has ended. A beautiful relationship may still come. Loyal friends may still appear. New people may enter with honesty, effort, and respect. Welcome them. Let them become meaningful parts of your life. But never again hand anyone the power to decide whether your entire world remains beautiful. Your happiness must have roots deeper than their presence. Build those roots in self-respect. Build them in purpose. Build them in your ability to sit alone without feeling abandoned. Build them in your willingness to walk away from what repeatedly harms you. Build them in the knowledge that you can lose someone you love and still slowly return to life. The strongest person is not the one who never needs connection. It is the one who can love deeply without disappearing, grieve honestly without surrendering, and stand alone without believing they have been defeated. Become that person. Become someone who welcomes love but does not beg for it. Become someone who appreciates attention but does not measure worth by it. Become someone who can miss a person without chasing them back into an unhealthy life. Become someone who understands that an ending can hurt without becoming the end of everything. One day, somebody's absence may still create silence, but it will no longer create emptiness. Your life will still contain your dreams, your strength, your peace, and your direction. You will look around and realize that the person left, but everything inside you did not leave with them. You remained. You remained through the difficult nights, unanswered questions, and moments when you did not recognize yourself. You remained until the pain became lighter. You remained until your confidence returned. You remained until your future began feeling exciting again. And because you remained, you discovered something nobody could have taught you while you were depending on them. You were never half of a person waiting to become whole. You were always whole, but you had forgotten how much of yourself existed beyond their presence. Remember it now. Your beautiful life does not end when someone walks away. Sometimes that is the moment you finally begin building a life that can never again be destroyed by anyone's absence. One day you will look back and realize that the season you called loneliness was actually the season that returned you to yourself. You stopped begging people to stay. You stopped measuring your worth by attention. You stopped waiting for someone else to make your life meaningful. And slowly, the silence that once frightened you became peace. The empty days became freedom. Your own company became home. This does not mean you will stop loving people. It means you will never again lose yourself just to keep them. Let people come, let people go. But never abandon the life you are building within yourself, because the most beautiful life is not the one where nobody leaves. It is the one that remains beautiful, even when they do. Your life is already waiting. Now go and live it.